Hey everybody, we're back with WalkieTalkie episode 2, and Ms. Tomkins has a pretty interesting history. It all revolves around soccer or football, depending upon who you are or where you're from. I'm sure that there's a game or an experience that stands out to you. Can you tell us about one?
My sophomore year of high school, we made it to the Far West Regionals. We had to win that game to go to states. It ended up going into penalty kicks, and we won on penalty kicks, which was pretty awesome because the whole team storms the field and just feels like all your hard work pays off in that one small moment.
How many saves did you have?
On the penalty kicks, I saved 3 of the 5.
That's amazing. I always watch the penalty kicks, and I think there's no way anybody can save any of these. The net's too big. They're standing too close. What's the trick?
It's the power of positivity.
Where did the soccer dream begin?
So I grew up playing on Grand Island, where I went to school, and I played for the Empire United Soccer Club, which is still around today. And the dream started when I went to UB Women's Soccer Camp at the age of 11. I got to meet a lot of really cool young women, and I wanted to be just like them. So it was history from there. That was the summer going into 6th grade.
So it's interesting that even at the ages our students are now, some of the dreams that they have for their lives are already kicking in,
yes.
Right? You're already starting to figure those out. All right, so you had this dream as a middle school kid that you wanted to play soccer, and then I imagine you played middle school and then into high school.
Yes.
And how did your team do in high school?
In high school, we went to the state finals, or state semifinals, 2 out of my 4 years, and we won sectionals all 4 years. Yeah, it was pretty fun, and it's a lot of fun to play with kids you grew up with.
What position did you play?
I was a goalkeeper.
Really? You're a goalie?
Yes. I'm small
right.
for a goalie, but I used to be able to jump back in the day.
Way back when. So your husband said you have small hands for a goalie.
Yeah, very small.
Is that right?
Yes.
Let's do a little hand comparison for the camera.
Yeah, they're pretty small.
Those are some small hands. But obviously you got some good catching skills, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm curious, why goalie of all the positions? Is that what you always wanted to do?
The first player I met at UB, she was a goalkeeper, and she really took me under her wing, and she taught me how to be fearless, and for some reason I loved diving in at people's feet and diving all around the ground. Competitive side definitely comes out pretty quick in almost any sport or activity.
Where did you go from there?
Then I went to Long Island University, close to New York City.
Ooh,
and
nice.
It's a Division II school, and I went to study adolescent education and play soccer. I got a scholarship to play soccer, and I also got an academic scholarship. So by the time I graduated, I only had to pay for about a quarter of school.
That's phenomenal. That must have taken a lot of time and effort, though. Is it hard to balance academics and sports when you're in college and playing soccer?
It's not too bad at the Division II level. At the Division I level, you get into practices about 3 times a day. At the Division II level, it's twice a day, so in the morning and the afternoon. With my busy schedule growing up, I didn't think it was too tough of an adjustment. And it was just worth how much fun it was, and it was always super motivating. I had great coaches and great professors, so I wanted to try my best at both. In college, we had track workouts that we had to do, and usually the track workouts took anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, but I would do double because I just knew it took double. So I would do 40 minutes of track workouts. I would do plyometrics or a jumping program to help me jump higher and make up for the extra inches.
What actually ended up happening with your college career?
So we made it to the NCAA tournament 2 of the 4 years. We won the conference tournament 2 of the 4 years. And we made it as far as the Sweet 16, where we lost to the College of St. Rose in Albany. And after college, I went on to play semi-professionally with the Long Island Rough Riders.
Well, professional soccer?
Semi-professionally. So
what's the difference there?
Professionals get paid. Semi-professionals, we get everything paid for us. Travel, food, accommodations, gear, but we play for free. And we play for the experience. I came to a point where I had to decide between teaching full-time or teaching part-time and playing soccer, and I chose to start teaching full-time.
Was that a hard decision to make after all the time and energy you'd invested in soccer up to then?
It was a hard decision because I had two loves my whole life up until that point, and then I realized how much more of an impact I could have on other people if I did teaching, whereas soccer was more just for me and my teammates. With teaching, my first year I had 120 students on Long Island teaching 9th grade English, so I was able to help 120 kids instead of just myself and 20 teammates.
Obviously, playing a lot of soccer, you've had a lot of coaches. I'm always curious if there's a specific coach or a person who inspired you the most or had the most impact on you.
So there's a coach from Empire United, Kevin O'Neill. He was my coach when I was 13 and 14 years old. And I could really relate to Kevin because he was a shorter player himself. So a lot of people thought I was too short to play goal. And they thought I would never be able to play in college because of my height and my small hands. But Kevin always inspired me to work hard, and he said if I outworked everybody else that my dreams would come true. And he was right, and I owe him everything, all my accomplishments.
You outworked everybody else?
I had to. It's pretty short.
Words or wisdom to anybody who's listening?
Just no dream is too high, and the harder you work, the better results you'll see. And if you're struggling or you need some motivation, latch on to those people that you admire, and you might be surprised where you end up.
Very cool. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk with WalkieTalkie.
Thank you, Mr. Ecken.
If you know somebody in our school who would be an interesting interview, somebody who's accomplished things that we might not know about, but we want to, then go ahead and recommend them. You can send an email to shmspantherpress@sweethomeschools.org. Talk to you soon.